Hi, I hope you are well. This Saturday afternoon I am exhausted. I apologise for missing last week. I was here doing my reflecting and intention setting, but I just didn't feel like filming it. I just had such a full-on week and I didn't want to. It wasn't going to be enjoyable. So I sat here instead and I took a photo to kind of put up on YouTube in like the comment kind of section of the platform, the post section of the platform, and say, hey, I did it, I encourage you to do it as well. And then something went wrong with the formatting of the aspect ratio of the photo, and I couldn't be bothered to fix it at the time, and then I just forgot about it. So my gosh, I'm just so all over the place and scattered, and I am exhausted, and I just realized it. So it's the 1st of July today. My God, my brain. It's the 1st of July, which means we should be reflecting on June. I do not feel up to reflecting on June. And I've just realized that this is underexposed. So I will not be reflecting on June. I think that I'm going to just reflect on the past week again. That feels a lot more manageable. But I'll link in the description the video where I reflected on the last month, so you can follow along those prompts if you'd like. Otherwise, you can just follow along with this weekly kind of prompt. I apologize for the scatteredness so far, and I'm sure there will be more to come. Oh my gosh. I just can feel my brain just not showing up today. Okay. So okay. End of week reflection. What scared me this week? Ask yourself, what scared me this week? And then ask yourself, did that reveal an insecurity I can now work on? Summarize your week in one word, sentence or phrase. I also don't mean to be kind of bringing like down energy. I do feel a bit down, but I mostly just feel tired and scattered and a bit uncomfortable and anxious. There's nothing really to feel down about. I just don't feel great today. So I don't mean to be bringing these kind of vibes. I'm sorry if they're translating through. I'm just mostly really tired. So my week in one word. Okay, I'm going to look back on the intentions that I set last week. Ooh, it is chilly. Okay. Professionally, basically ticked everything off. Personally, have things that I definitely need to work on. And I think that, not to make excuses, but also to make excuses, this anxious and uncomfortable kind of feeling has really hit a peak today, but it's kind of been brewing there all week. And I've just been distracting myself from it. And this was the first day that I've really stopped, and I'm really feeling the full force of it. So instead of a week of intentions, really personally, it's been a week of distractions. But that's good to know. I can move forward with that. So, setting intentions for the upcoming week. Think about what you would like to achieve, do. I don't know, is achieve the right word? Like, kind of just like, what do you want to do in the next week in terms of your health, career, relationships, and personal life? So break them into those categories. What would you like to do in the upcoming week? And then once you have figured out what you'd like to accomplish throughout the week, schedule the upcoming week. Schedule in those things that you intend to do. Boy, I'm good at this today. Okay. I just wrote down like that the last thing I wrote down there was like sort out my taxes, and that's already like the third week that I've just like delayed that. I've kept just pushing it back, writing it again and again and again, and I know that I'm going to keep doing that until I cannot anymore. I just like I'm writing it being like, oh yeah, I'll do it this Friday. I don't think I will. I feel a lot less scattered after doing that. I really didn't feel like it this afternoon. I felt like gaining clarity, but I didn't feel like actually trying to deal with the swirling mush in my brain. And even then, a few times in that video, I thought about just abandoning it, but I'm glad that I didn't push through and did it. Let's finish off with an email from James Clear, because I really like them, and I haven't looked at the one from this week yet. Where are we? Okay, this is called Why Small Things Matter, Reframing Failure, and How to Cherish Life. It's getting dark. 3 ideas from James Clear himself. Firstly, small things matter when they accumulate. This is one of the main lessons of my work, and one of the principles I try to follow in my life. The details, when finely polished and carefully combined, add up to something remarkable. Secondly, life rewards action, not intelligence. Many brilliant people talk themselves out of getting started, and being smart doesn't help very much without the courage to act. You can't win if you're not in the game. I like that one. Life rewards action, not intelligence. Thirdly, start with the thing you're most motivated to do. Start with a small habit you think is fun and do it consistently. This will not only feel satisfying, but also open your eyes to the type of person you can become. After the first domino falls, you can use the momentum to do a little more. 2 quotes from others. Firstly, this is from a writer and teacher. I can't pronounce what this person teaches. George Leonard, on how to get started. Sorry, I'm really bad at pronouncing words. It's a skill that I fail to have, and it's something I'm very self-conscious about, so I don't like trying to pronounce something. You can't do everything, but you can do one thing, and then another and another. In terms of energy, it's better to make a wrong choice than none at all. You might begin by listing your priorities for the day, for the week, for the month, for a lifetime. Start modestly. List everything you want to do today or tomorrow. Set priorities by dividing them into A, B, and C categories. At the least, accomplish the A items. Try the same thing with long-term goals. Priorities do shift, and you can change them at any time, but simply getting them down into black and white adds clarity to your life, and clarity creates energy. I feel that even what I was just saying before, I felt scattered and mushy, and I still do feel that way. But simply getting the things out of my head and sorting through all the jumble in my head and putting them down into black and white clears things up, gives me clarity, and then translates into better energy or even just energy itself. It's very dark. Secondly, entrepreneur and creative director Andrew Anabi on how to cherish life. When life changes, you will probably miss the way it was. You may miss those long morning drives or walks to the office, or those hectic family gatherings. You may miss them because those moments are finite. You will only travel those streets and see those people a certain amount of times. Every time you do something, that is one less time you do it. One day you will do something the final time, and you will rarely know when that day comes. For all you know, today might be the last time you walk in a particular neighborhood, or it might be the last time you smile at a particular someone. To think otherwise would be foolish. Nothing is guaranteed except this moment. Your only real choice is to cherish every exchange like it might be your last. Therefore, the best way to cherish life is to remind yourself of life's impermanence. It is to remember that every time you see someone, that is one less time you see them. It is to remember that every time you go somewhere, that is one less time you visit. By doing this, you naturally slow down. Almost like a reflex, you start to truly live. Whoa. This is something that I think about a lot, especially if I am like on a holiday or my routine's changed up somehow and I'm doing something differently, and I've gotten into, say I'm house sitting, and I've gotten into a new routine for that week, like where I go for walks and all this stuff. And then on the last day I think, oh, this is the last time, I don't know when I'll get to do this again, maybe I'll never get to do this again. I generally think like that quite a bit. However, I think of it almost in the opposite way, in that every time I get to do something, it adds one to the list, rather than this is saying it kind of is, that's one less time you do it. If I am seeing someone, I've never thought about it as this is one less time that I'll get to see them. I always think, wow, this is one more time that I get to see them. This is another time I've gotten to see this person. So that's a really interesting way to look at things. I don't particularly like it, I will say, but I will ponder on it for sure. And one question for us. Think of a time you failed or struggled greatly. If you were to view that experience in a more useful way, what story would you tell yourself? What did it teach you? How did it prepare you for what came next? Turn your failures into lessons. If you were to review that experience in a more useful way, what story would you tell yourself? What did it teach you? How did it prepare you for what came next? It's interesting. I will try to think more on this. However, a lot of my struggles or failures in the past, it always reaffirms this belief that I have, that everything happens for a reason, and that it's not, it's not rejection, it's redirection. The path that I'm on is the one that I'm supposed to be on. If I fail at something, or something happens that I view as a failure, it's just putting me on the path that I should be on, or I'm not supposed to go down that path, or something more suited, or something that I'm going to enjoy more is going to come my way, or something that I will benefit from more, whether that is like a good or a bad thing at the time. But I have found myself recently, because in basically for all of my life, I've hated making mistakes. I'm a very forgiving person to other people. If people make mistakes, and they can be pretty dire mistakes, I will be very quick to forgive and forget, because I know that people make mistakes, and I know that especially if it's not intentional, or if it's not intentional because it's a mistake, and they weren't being negligent, I'm very quick to forgive them. But I am so hard on myself, and I will just replay such negative thoughts and feelings and berate myself endlessly. So I really don't like making mistakes. However, recently I've been a lot seeing mistakes in a different way. I've been seeing, okay, thank you for teaching me that. What can I kind of learn from that? Or, okay, I've made this mistake. Thankfully, none of them have been like dire or really that bad, or none of them have impacted anyone except myself. It's just been silly little things that I've been like, oh, that was dumb, or that's annoying, or that's frustrating. Well, I'm not going to do that again, am I? Or, that's interesting, I'm not going to do that again, or I'm going to do it a different way, I'm going to try a different way. So I have been trying to see that more recently, but for bigger things, I still definitely struggle with leaning into being okay with the possibility of making mistakes. But we can't all do everything perfectly, and I hopefully have a long life ahead of me where I can get better at this kind of stuff, or try to. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for being with me on a lower day, but I'm definitely feeling calmer and more clear. And I'm happy that I got outside to do this, and I'm really happy that I got to do it with you. Thank you. And I have linked, if you want to reflect on the past month, which I will do in the coming days, just myself, because I find it really useful to go into another month looking back on the previous month, just to kind of remind myself as well what June was like. And so I've linked that below if you would like to do that as well. Otherwise, I will see you next week. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope you get outside and get some sun. That's what I'd like you to do, if you want to listen to me. Okay, bye.